Hello, my name is Luke Chang from Kinesiology 3200 Section 2, and this is my presentation on the latissimus dorsi muscle, otherwise known as the lats. The lats are a large flat muscle on the back that span the lumbar and lower thoracic regions. The origin is located on the spinous process of vertebrae T7 to L5, thoracolumbar fascia, iliac crest, and inferior 3 or 4 ribs. The insertion point is at the medial lip of the intertubercular groove of the humerus. So in this image here, you can see the origin point and the insertion for the lats as well as the shape. And this picture here shows where the lats are in relation to other muscles on the back. As you can see, it's near the trapezius and the teres major, which it works closely with, and upper body pulling movements. The lats are the largest muscle in the upper body. It covers the serratus posterior muscle and lies inferior to the teres major muscle. The lats together with the teres major form the posterior axillary fold. The lats are also innervated by the 6th, 7th, and 8th cervical nerves through the thoracodorsal nerve. The lats are responsible for 4 actions, which are adduction, extension, internal rotation, and abduction, which I will cover individually. Movements generated by the lats usually involve the scapula and the humerus. First is adduction of the glenohumeral joint, which moves the arm towards the body in the frontal plane in a concentric contraction. In an eccentric contraction, it increases the distance between the arm and the body in the frontal plane. We see this in exercises like pull-ups. This adduction is similar to the movement you would do with your arms making a snow angel. The second action is extension of the glenohumeral joint, which moves the arm toward and behind the body in the sagittal plane in a concentric contraction, while moving the arm away from the body in an eccentric contraction. This action is done in things such as rowing. That could be any action where you pull an object in front of you towards you, like a door handle or a bent over barbell row. The third action is internal rotation of the glenohumeral joint, which rotates the arm inward in the transverse plane. This is used in throwing actions. The fourth action is horizontal abduction of the glenohumeral joint, which moves the arm horizontally behind the body in the transverse plane in a concentric contraction, and moves the arm forward in front of the body in eccentric contraction. This creates a reverse fly movement. This action might be done when you are trying to pull something apart from the sides. In terms of daily use, the lats are used in upper body pulling motions. Examples of this are opening a door or picking something up from the floor. Any action that involves bringing the arm towards the body will probably use the lats. An exercise that you can do to strengthen the lats is the pull-up. To do a pull-up, you first want to find a bar that you can hang on with your feet off the ground. To perform the concentric portion of the rep, contract the lats to adduct the shoulders while flexing your elbow until your chin is above the bar. In the eccentric portion of the rep, lengthen the lats and bring the shoulder into abduction while extending the elbows. The lats will be strengthened as you pull your arms and body together against the resistance, which in this exercise is body weight. Proper form for the pull-up involves bringing the chin over the bar, keeping the body rigid, and fully extending the elbows on the way down. It's important to avoid any unnecessary movement such as swinging or kipping, which will decrease the benefit of the exercise or even potentially make it more difficult. To make this exercise more challenging, you can incorporate extra weight, such as holding a dumbbell with your legs, or you can make the exercise easier by using bands to assist you with the concentric. Another exercise you can do to strengthen the lats is the inverted row. This can be done on a shorter pull-up bar or rings like I have here. The bar should be tall enough so that your upper back does not touch the ground at the bottom where your elbows are fully extended. Once you are under the bar, it's important to keep your body rigid like you would in a pull-up. To perform the concentric portion of the rep, contract the lats to extend the shoulders and flex your elbows. In the eccentric, lower yourself into shoulder flexion and elbow extension. The lats will be worked as the humerus is pulled toward and behind the body. A common mistake with this exercise is dropping the hips or letting the feet slide. To make this exercise more challenging, you can add a weight by putting a plate or maybe a dumbbell on top of you. You can also make this exercise easier by utilizing bands to assist on the concentric. Similar to the pull-up, the inverted row incorporates the biceps brachialis and brachioradialis to flex the elbow. Muscles near the lats such as the teres major, trapezius, and posterior deltoid assist in extending the humerus, and the glutes are used as well in keeping the body rigid. Another exercise you can do for the lats is the bent over row. I don't exactly have the equipment for this, but it can be done with any weighted barbell. To start, you want to be in a hinged hip position with knees bent and torso leaning forward. After that, select a grip width on the bar that is slightly wider than your shoulders. To perform the concentric portion of the rep, contract the lats to pull the humerus toward and behind the body. The elbows will be in a naturally flexed position, but you should not use the elbow flexors to pull the bar. After pulling the bar to your stomach, lower it in the eccentric portion of the rep by allowing the humerus to come in front of the body and allow the elbow to extend. A common mistake with the bend over row is swinging the torso to create momentum to pull the bar. You want to generally avoid doing this so that you rely on working and contracting the lats to move the bar rather than physics. Another common mistake is having bad posture. You want to make sure your upper back is not rounded or overly arched. It should be a flat line from your hips to your head. Similar to the pull-up and inverted row, the bend over row also incorporates the upper back muscles such as the trapezius and teres major, as well as the elbow flexors and core stabilizers. Alright, now I'm going to talk about some stretches for the lats. So since contracting the lats pulls the arms toward the body, you can stretch them by positioning them away from the body. One way to do this is with a dead hang, which is the same as the bottom position of a pull-up. This stretches the lat by putting the shoulder into abduction. You can also perform the dead hang with one arm at a time. So here I make sure that I have a firm grip on the bar so that I don't slip off. I hold for a few seconds and also avoid any unnecessary swinging or kipping that could be the cause for unnecessary injury. As for the single arm dead hang, it allows you to also twist your body to externally rotate the shoulder for a greater stretch. And this is another way to stretch the lats. You can put your hand against the wall and laterally bend the trunk to abduct the shoulder and put it into an upward rotation. You can hold this position for a few seconds and alternate between sides to stretch both lats. This can also be done by using the other arm to pull the arm of the side you are trying to stretch. One thing that I try to do in this stretch is push my head forward to increase the external rotation of my shoulder. This creates a greater stretch similar to the one-arm dead hang. The last stretch I want to show for the lats is one that can be done on any chair or bed. To do this, position your hands or elbows on the edge of the elevated surface. It doesn't really matter what you put against the surface since we are focusing on the humerus. After you're in position, push your torso downwards to put the shoulder into extension. This stretches the lats by moving the humerus away from the body to push the shoulder into extension. With this stretch, it's important to not push your head too far downward, which could put unnecessary strain on the neck. This offers a stretch in the sagittal plane for the lats. And that concludes my presentation for the latissimus dorsi muscle.